Jim Jordan receives the wrong type of politicized compliment from Trump. Republicans like Jim Jordan are viewed by Donald Trump as great workers who carry out his orders on Capitol Hill. Republicans have mostly avoided parallels to Richard Nixon over the past 50 years. That makes sense because the late former president was forced to retire in disgrace after becoming embroiled in a number of egregious scandals. Few Republican candidates and leaders have wished to be linked to Nixon or his legacy. Contrarily, Donald Trump feels at ease when compared to Richard Nixon. For instance, in a recent interview with the Washington Examiner, the former president discussed his friendship with Richard Nixon and his family and said that Nixon's biggest regret was leaving office during the Watergate impeachment scandal. Trump argued that he ought to have fought. His biggest mistake was that he didn't fight back when Barry Goldwater and a group of senators and congressmen came to him on that very gloomy evening in the White House and said, "Mr. President, you have no votes," the Republican continued. "You must step down right away." He gave up. He regretted not fighting back his entire life, which is extremely different from the man I knew. In other words, according to Trump, Nixon was guilty, knew he was guilty, his popularity had plummeted, and Congress was ready to remove him from office. Trump thinks Nixon made the wrong decision in departing, and he wants the public to believe that Nixon himself had second thoughts about his choice, based on alleged secret talks that may or may not have taken place. The Hill reports that the former president went a little further last night. "I'll never forget, when impeachment happened, we had such wonderful support," Trump stated in an interview with Mark Levin that aired on Fox News last night. "Nixon was unpopular. He really didn't have any support, you know. He was brutally honest with people. I get along well with others. I mean, all of these lawmakers are excellent, and Jim Jordan is great. They are truly remarkable individuals. Nixon didn't get along with the members of Congress," he continued. "The senators and he did not get along. However, the Republican Party has some excellent members, and although I get along with them, they have stayed together." Much of this was strange in light of historical study. Trump appears to believe that Nixon's loss of GOP support was caused more by his damaged personal connections with congressional Republicans than by the overwhelming evidence of systemic abuses and a corrupted White House that Congress was presented with. According to Trump's theory, Republican members abandoned Nixon as Watergate heated up because they didn't get along with him. Trump, on the other hand, managed to keep his political support because to his charm and personality. None of this accurately portrays reality in any way, but let's not ignore the 5 lines from Trump's interview that, in my opinion, stuck out the most. "I have great Jim Jordan." To put it another way, Trump benefited from the impulsive backing of Jordan and his allies, who seemed and continue to appear unconcerned to the former president's guilt, unlike Nixon, who had to deal with some principled GOP senators. The remarks from last night were meant as a praise, but considering the situation, they shouldn't be seen that way. Trump masterfully portrayed the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee as an unthinking supporter who will support the former president regardless of decorum. The Ohio congressman was the subject of an article in the New York Times a week prior to the Fox interview, which noted that Jordan is using his perch on the Judiciary panel to defend his most important political patron, Mr. Trump, and to attack his adversaries. Mr. Jordan has also acknowledged there is another goal at work. The piece continued, telling a conservative audience last year the investigations would help frame up the 2024 race in a way that benefits Mr. Trump. Republicans like Jordan are often seen by Trump as obedient servants who carry out his orders on Capitol Hill, which Nixon did not have access to 50 years ago. Although he should find it uncomfortable, the head of the Judiciary Committee is likely to accept this praise.